If you're just getting into content creation, one of the many things you'll probably notice is that there are so many different options available when it comes to cameras. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 4 main tiers that every single camera manufacturer breaks their products down into, as well as give you today's examples that fit into those categories and helping you make the best buying decision possible. All right, so first of all, you need to understand the 4 tiers, and that is entry level, mid-range, semi-pro, and professional. These are the tiers, or better known as the categories, that each individual camera manufacturer creates products for. So for example, let's start off in the entry level. These camera systems are designed for those grandmas, grandpas, moms and dads, coaches, whoever it is that just wants to pick up a camera, super easy to use, and just take photos or even video. These entry-level cameras are also known as point-and-shoot cameras. There are also several camcorders that fall into this category. For those of us out there who are creating content on YouTube, on Twitch, live streaming, or whatever the case is, you may or may not want to use these cameras for your content creation, but the big upside of these camera systems is they're relatively cheap and they're really easy to get into and understand. So here are a few notable examples that are in this category. So from Canon, you have the iconic G7X. This camera system is actually still used to this day by many content creators, which is why I was saying that you may or may not want to consider some of these cameras that are designed for those that are just getting started. And from Lumix, you have the GX9. Now this camera system actually has some of the features that my Lumix G7 has, like removable lenses, as well as some other color profiles that you can use internally with the camera. However, there is a little bit of a pricier range on this camera, so it all really depends on what you're looking to get. And with Sony, you have the ZV-1, great camera system, has pretty much all the features that you need when it comes to vlogging. So many creators use that camera system to this day. A lot of these cameras that fall in the entry-level category can actually work for most of your guys' needs, especially if you're looking to live stream. For example, a lot of these cameras do have an HDMI out. They have the ability for you to plug it in and power the camera via USB, USB-C. So for those of you who just need a camera to do one specific thing, entry-level might be what you're looking for. Now moving on to mid-range. Now, mid-range cameras are those cameras out there, for example, like the camera that I'm using, the Lumix G7. There are features that mid-range cameras have that you need in order for you to create the content you need to create. Most camera systems that fall within the mid-range category actually have interchangeable lenses, as well as give you the ability to mount accessories on the cold shoe, like shotgun mics, as well as in-body stabilization. So now here's a list of some of the cameras that fall into the category of mid-range. Now from Canon, you have the iconic M50. Great camera, has the ability for you to use different lenses. It is a crop sensor, produces great colors. There's no crazy workflow that you need in order for you to edit this content that's coming out of this camera. And from Sony, you have the a6000 series of cameras. From the new a6600 down to the a6300, these cameras can produce quality images without having to spend a lot of money on a professional camera. And for Panasonic, also known as Lumix, you have the G series of cameras. You have the G7, G85, G95, the G100. All of these cameras here are specifically tailored and created for those of us that are just wanting to get started with content creation and may or may not need some of those features that the professional line of cameras have. Some mid-range cameras are priced reasonably well, especially on the used market. You'd be surprised to find the camera that you're looking for be priced close to, if not at the cost of an entry-level camera. You're currently seeing me through actually my Lumix G7 that I purchased used years ago, and has been a great camera ever since. It's currently still fitting the needs that I need in order for me to create content, but the more and more I do freelance work, shoot videos, or even create content on this channel, the more and more I'm looking to get into the professional or even the semi-professional series of cameras. These semi-professional cameras are also known as hybrid cameras due to the fact that they're really great at both photos and videos. So for example, we'll start off with Lumix and what they have to offer. Panasonic or Lumix's GH4, the GH5, the GH5S, as well as obviously the new GH6. These specific cameras came out at different times throughout the years, but have all been tailored for those that are looking to get good photos, but also capture great video. And from Canon, you have a wide variety of options available. They've been producing semi-professional cameras for photos and videos for years now. Back in the day, you had the 60, the 70, the 80, to the new 90D, and even the EOS R cameras that's designed for those of you who are looking to create content without getting super expensive and spending a lot of money. And with Sony, you have the a7000 series of cameras, which is the a7 II, 3, even to the new a7 IV. There are different options from Sony in this category that are designed more towards videos. So for example, the a7R, which has a little bit more features designed towards video, but if you need specific lumen for photos, there's a better model for you out there. That's definitely one thing you need to understand when you're looking for cameras in either category, is that there's new models that are coming out today as a shooting of this video that 2-3 years from now will probably be downgraded to a different range because of the fact that there's new technology that's coming out that doesn't make these cameras obsolete. Like my G7 still isn't obsolete. It's still produced to this day. You can buy it brand new at your local Best Buy or Amazon. But there are features that make some of these older cameras like the GH4 way better than my G7, for example. I would totally buy a budget GH4 if I could find one, or even a GH5. And finally, the professional line of cameras. When you think of a professional, who comes to mind? Whether you're a photographer or you're a videographer, there are different things that you need for that specific profession. There are specific cameras that are designed to just do really good in video. Some of these cameras don't even have screens, for example, or you need specific equipment in order for you to process the video, whether it shoots in RAW or whatever the case is. And that is where professional cameras are for those of you who are looking to create content professionally, from movies, videos. So for example, Canon's EOS C line of cameras, from the C100 to 300, all the way to the new C70. These cameras are designed for those that are looking to create documentaries to even films. Canon's new C70 is actually designed and approved for those that are creating content on Netflix. And this is what I'm talking about, is that these specific cameras are designed for one purpose in mind. For example, Lumix has the BS1H or the BG1 cameras, and these don't even have screens. They're designed for you to build them out yourself, kit them out yourself however you need them. And with Sony, you have the FX line of cameras, from the FX6 all the way down to the FX30. These specific cameras are designed just for cinematography purposes. And there are a ton of different camera manufacturers out there that create specifically for those that are doing content professionally. So Blackmagic, you have the Pocket 4K, 6K, you have the 12K, and from Red, you have a variety of different camera systems that are designed just for cinematographers. And this is what I'm saying, is that in this category, there are so many different cameras. Depending on what your needs are is where you need to specifically look in a specific direction, whether it's from Sony, from Red, from Lumix, Panasonic. It all depends on what you need at the end of the day. Some of these cameras that are in this professional category may or may not compete with one another. Maybe the BS1H from Lumix, for example, may not have the same specifications that you need in order to do a certain shot. So that's where you may need to get a certain camera, like from a rental house, in order for you to do that job. Like I mentioned earlier, for example, I'm actually looking to get into the semi-professional category sooner or later because I want to start shooting in a specific format, especially since I'm always looking to create content for you guys and taking you along the learning experience that I'm going through. I know camera systems and manufacturers can create confusion out there, especially since there's so many different options available. Even if you're just looking a few years ago, there's cameras that are no longer made that might fit your needs, which is why I always recommend looking at the used market. That's where you can save the most money and get the best bang for your buck, especially if you're just starting out. And again, if you're looking to create content with whatever means necessary, take a look at the videos that I have right down here. I'm always looking to show you guys new ways, innovative ways, as well as what I've learned in my journey of creating content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, have a great day.